Okay, I think everyone is in now, and I see we have started the attendance register. For the 5 or 6 people who have not done so yet, remember full names and group in the chat. All right, so we're diving into Units 2. In Unit 2, the goal is to complete these 3 blocks and do a review of 1 and 2 at the end. In this first lesson, we're going to be looking specifically at present simple. We're going to be talking about everyday actions. And then in our next session, we'll look at actions in progress. Now, everyday actions, we're going to break it down into 2 pieces. We're going to look at 2 different sets of activities. And as you saw in the video, the present simple is a straightforward structure. You have your noun or your pronoun, your verb, and some time expressions. So let's start by looking at when we use these expressions. The present simple, the rules are straightforward. We use or a verb mostly in its base form. All right, let's dive in with Alejandra. Ale, let's start off with number 1. When do we use the present tense?
Ay, no veo bien. Bueno, se ve borroso.
Oh, really? Okay, hopefully your screen loads a little bit better over time.
Ah,
Uh, can you see it now? Number
ya.
1?
Sí,
Okay.
sí, sí, ya. Eh, for repeated regular in the present,
Mm-hmm.
the train to the office. The
Mm-hmm.
train to Berlin leaves every hour.
Mm-hmm.
John sleeps 8 hours every night during the week.
Perfect. Good. Number 2, Andrea. Andrea Angeli, to be specific.
Yes, el dos, ¿verdad?
Yes, please.
For facts, the president of the USA lies in the White House. Adolf
Lives.
has
Leave
lived.
lives. Right? ¿Sabes la diferencia entre live y live?
No.
Okay. Live es en vivo. Entonces, estamos en vivo. We are live. Yo vive. Well, yeah, I live. So be careful the pronunciation there. The president of the USA lives in the White House. Repeat.
The president of the USA lives in the White House. Se me puso un poquito borroso.
No worries. All right, we have a dog has 4 legs and we come from Switzerland, right? So facts. When we are using it, we also use it for facts. Mitzi, help us with number 3.
Yes, for things, I know, for habits,
Mm-hmm,
I get up early every day. Carol brushes
mm-hmm,
her teeth
mm-hmm.
twice a day, and they travel to their country house every weekend.
All right. And number 4, Brian Ulysses.
For things that are always getting generally through,
Mm-hmm,
uh, it rains a lot of winter. In winter, the Queen of England lives in Buckingham Palace.
mm-hmm.
They speak English at work.
Good. All right, so these are the 4 basic areas. Now let's get a little bit more detail on how we use them. All right. The form. Structurally, it's going to be who, what is doing the action, so the subject or the pronoun, and your verb in its base form. If it's he, she, or it, we'll add a S ending. Now that S ending might change based on the spelling of the word. In positive form, subject and verb. Negative form, we use the auxiliary verb to do. So do not or does not. You can also contract it, so don't and doesn't. And for questions, we use the auxiliary verb to do, then the subject and the verb. All right. Now you can use the verb to be, like isn't it? You can also use question verbs to start your questions in the present simple. But generally, those are the structures. All right. Let's continue with Camila. Right.
Okay.
Number one.
Lo leo todo, ¿verdad?
Yes, please.
Use. We use the present simple when speaking about things that happen regularly.
Hmm.
It is never used to speak about something that is happening at the moment in which we are speaking. We tend to use adverbs of time with the present simple. Always, every day, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, hardly ever, never.
Good. All right. So those are what we call frequency adverbs. Examples?
I always talk to my mother on Sunday. He never eats vegetables.
Hmm.
They usually learn something new in class.
All right. Now, if you're using the verb to be, so another exception, you're going to move the adverb after the verb to be. So I am always happy, he's often sick, they are rarely late, because usually the verb to be is stating a condition. This use is common. Now notice we have these words, these adverbs. These adverbs are called adverbs of frequency. So how much percentage of our time do we do these items, right? And it has its affirmative, negative, and question form as well. Number two, help us here. Dial. It's not Dahlia, it's actually Dila. Number
Yes,
two.
it's Tyler.
Mhm.
Okay. The present simple is used to speak about
Generalities, and science.
generalities or scientific facts.
Hmm.
Okay. He doesn't eat vegetables. She works in a hospital. Elephants live in Africa. Bogota is in Colombia. Do children like animals? Adults don't know everything.
Good. All right. So notice we're using do and do not, does or does not. All right. In general, the structure is getting clearer. Right. Here we go now with Lalo. Eduardo, number three.
Yes, we also use the present simple for events scheduled in the near future. The train leaves at 10,
10 o'clock.
10
Hmm.
o'clock. The party is tonight. Does the festival start tomorrow? The plan doesn't arrive today.
Right. Now, when we see things in our agenda, planned activities, if we know the exact time, we can use the present simple. All right. We never use it when we're talking about things happening in the moment. We're going to see that next week for present continuous. And if we don't know the exact time, then we'll use future simple. All right. We'll tackle that in a few weeks. All right. Number four. Continue with Elia.
Sí, we use the present simple for giving instructions, the imperative. Examples: open the window, eat the vegetables, don't cry, do your homework, call your mother.
Okay. Ooh, the imperative is almost like giving a command. All right. When we ask questions, we generally say, the phrase in a little higher tone. The same thing with imperatives. When we ask a question, we will pitch up, so to speak. Do you know? Same thing with imperatives. Do your homework. It's like a command, right? So tone is also important for imperatives. Right, let's dive in and do some practice. And I'm going to start over here instead. This time I'm going to change things up, right? And let's use our frequency adverbs, right? I'll show you and you just choose the right one. All right, so let's start over here. We'll look at the question forms, and let me also check on some people in the waiting room. So, Fernanda, which sentence is correct here?
Mm, our teacher is often late.
Our teacher is often late because we put the verb to be before our adverb. Good. All right, let's continue with Jorge, number 2.
We never eat fast food.
We never eat fast food. This one. Good job. All right, we have Diane Garcia, number 3.
Yes. My father doesn't hardly ever watch football on TV.
All right, my father. All right, notice here, we don't have the verb to be. So we can put hardly ever in front of our verb. Remember, the only time we change the structure of our sentences with frequency adverbs is when we have the verb to be. So we can put hardly ever after the subject, right? So therefore, which one has the subject, then our adverb? This one. Why this one and not this one? Here we have my father doesn't, which is negative. Hardly ever is also negative. So in English, we don't go for double negatives.
My father hardly ever watches football on TV. Oh, okay.
Perfect. All right. Number 4. And someone says they're stuck in the waiting room, but I see no one. No one is there. All right, finally. There she is. All right, let's continue with, I think next is Joali Montserrat.
Yes. Do you often go to the cinema?
Good question form. Do you, subject, often go to the cinema? All right, let's continue with number 5. And here, Ellen. Ellen Montserrat. Are you sisters? No, it's not.
Yes. um, mm, Wait, I am reading the sentences.
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
Uh, I think that is the option D. Does he go usually late to bed?
All right. Now, option D is the only one that is in question form here, but let's look at all of them. He usually doesn't go to bed late. He doesn't go to bed late usually. He doesn't usually go to bed late. And does he go usually late to bed? All right. Hmm. Which one is most appropriate? We know a couple things. We know one, we can put our frequency adverb very close to the beginning. So he usually doesn't go to bed late. Based on our structure, that's one that we usually go for. We also know you can use don't. And we can add the don't with our sentences. Generally, we are not throwing in the don't with the frequency adverb, right? Notice we're usually using it for negation. All right? So he usually and he doesn't is the battle here. I think we can eliminate this one. Does he usually go to bed late? Although it's more of a semantics thing. So let's show you a peek. I'll come back to it. Don't forget it. Let's also go with Nedelin, number 6. Gomez Arisa.
Which sentence is correct?
Mhm.
Mm, every week have piano lesson?
All right. You need your subject, then you need your verb, your complement, and your time expression. I see your hand, Ale. We'll come back to you. All right. In this case, I have piano lessons every week. All right. Every week is the adverb phrase that we were seeing last week, and those are used to express time. So I have piano lessons when every week. All right. Let's go to Shandy, number 7. Are you with us, Gomez?
Yeah.
Go.
I think is they are always very tired after the match.
They are always very tired after the match. Good. All right, let's continue with Lisette, number 8.
Yes. Sería we have always breakfast at home.
All right. We always have. Remember what we say about our frequency adverbs when placing it? We generally put it before our verb, unless we're using the verb to be. We always have breakfast at home. All right. Let's go with Hannah, number 9.
Yes. Um, she doesn't. She doesn't. Of no no no. She often doesn't wear jeans.
All right. Looking at our placement. She often doesn't wear jeans. All right. We're going to compare this one with the other one that we saw as well. And before we finish up this section, Sitlali, number 10.
Yes. Sería are sometimes you tired at the end of the class?
All right. Are you sometimes tired at the end of the class? Right? Let's look back at our answers. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's start here. He and usually. Where do we put our frequency adverb if we also have the doesn't? All right, this is where we will make the switch. In negative sentences, we will put our doesn't first, and we'll put our frequency adverb after. In questions, or adverbs are going to go after our helping verb, right? And that's the same thing for here, right? So that's the switch you're making. Put the doesn't first and put the often after, all right? So both for, I think it was Ellen, and now for you, Lisette, all right? Try to remember those. Let's continue. Let's do some more practice. Let's jump over to another set. Here, right? And let's go with loose. How would you transform your verb? Let's focus on the verbs.
Sorry?
All right, number one. All right, how do we complete this sentence? Remember, if we're using I, he, she, it, we don't change our verb, but if it's a he, a she, and it, sorry, you do change your verb. What would be the complete one for number one?
Okay, a man works in a hospital.
Works. All right, number two, Iñaki.
Do you like fish?
Exactly. All right, Marco.
Yes. She doesn't teach English.
Good. Sophia.
Yes. Watch television.
All right, Matthew. Is Matthew I, you, he, she?
Watch. Watch.
Watches. All right, so
Watches.
transform your verb. One more time. Matthew never
Never
watches.
watches television.
Good. All right, Ivan.
Does she play football?
You don't need to transform both, only one. Does she play? One more time.
Does she play football?
Yes, she does. All right, number six, Jacqueline.
Yes. They always eat dinner at 7 o'clock.
They always eat dinner at 7 o'clock. Good, right? Jessica Montserrat.
Yes, teacher. We not live in big house.
All right. What do we do to make our sentence negative? We use the verb to do. What is do in negative? Do not or don't. And vivir is live. All right. We don't live in a big house. Repeat.
We don't live.
We don't live.
We don't live in a big house.
Good. Remember, live and vivo, live, vivir. Always try to remember the pronunciation. Live. Number eight, let's go with Mauricio.
Valerie studies English at university.
All right, yes. She might be a student here in UNAM. Michelle, welcome. Number 9.
Yes. Do.
All right, but for he,
Perdón. Do es he y el verbo normal want.
exactly. Does he want to eat? Repeat.
Does he want to eat?
Good job. Monse Jimenez.
Yes. 10. Samantha plays tennis twice a week.
Good job. All right, let's jump over to the next set of questions. Unscramble. I'll show you the complete set. You just have to make your sentences from the words. For example, David is a subject, walks is the verb, to work is your infinitive complement. All right, number 1, Natalia.
Yes. She never eats meat.
Sebastian. Conseco Chávez.
Sí. ¿Cuál es? I
Mhm,
I run
mhm.
10 kilometers every day.
Perfect. All right. Sofía Nicolás Morales.
Yes, teacher. Do they study English?
Correct. All right. I'll always capitalize your proper nouns. All right. Ulises Antonio, number 4.
Yes. You do not speak French.
All right. We have Valentina,
Yes.
number 5.
She usually drinks coffee in the morning.
In the morning. All right. Valeria Lopez Perez, number 6.
Yes, teacher. Um, does he does he homework?
Need an action. Does he
Sorry,
do?
does he do homework after his school?
All right. I think the description is his homework. All right. And the time is after school. All right.
Yes, teacher.
One more time. Does he?
Okay, does he do his homework after school?
Good job. All right. Zaira, number 7.
We are not happy.
Why not?
Ya ve, teacher.
Good, good, good. All right. And Alejandra, I saw that you had raised your hand, number 8.
Alice is
Mhm.
often late.
Good. Putting the verb to be first and then your frequency adverb. Good, right? So you want to make sure you practice that. Practice your structure, your placement of your adverbs, if you have adverbs, your helping verb, doesn't or does, do or do not, and make sure you're using the verb in its correct form. If it needs an S or if it doesn't need an S. Right? Good. Remember, if you have not completed everything for Unit 1, complete it and submit it. The course is for a whole year. I do accept late assignments. You can't get full marks, but you can get marks, and your course will add up over the complete year, all the way till next May. So keep practicing. If you have questions, let me know. I'll share some of these things with you guys later. And of course, as always, enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I'll see you next week.